Hey there, Sarah, Next Gen Medium, and doing another Reddit answers, except why does this look so crooked? Is my computer crooked? Like that should be that. Maybe it's the line. Oh, what a mess. So my studio looks a little different. I am working on some videos for Patreon people. I am shifting things to Patreon. So if you want to donate, if the stuff that I provide for you helps you with your understanding of your spiritual self, of your higher self, of your soul abilities like psychic, mediumship, all this stuff that I think is your birthright, then you can go to Patreon and donate $3 or more. $3 gets you access to my full Next Gen Medium podcast, which is 63 episodes. And pretty soon, I'm going to have a new podcast that's going to be a little different, but still be me telling you things. Except this is a more of a linear kind of way of connecting with your soul self and witnessing your soul abilities, like your psychic abilities, your mediumship abilities. I think everybody's capable of doing these. I found it for myself 3 years ago. Before that, I had no idea that I could do those things. And now I do. And I use them in my everyday life. And I can't believe this is my existence. It's crazy. But you can go to my Patreon and donate. Patreon.com/nextgenmedium. NEXTGENMEDIUM. Okay. So we are going to Reddit. And this is actually was a part of a cult, the subreddit of a cult, and then was linked to the synchronicities subreddit, which, okay, that's cool. So this post, I thought, first of all, this isn't really a Reddit answers. It's more of a, I don't know. I'm going to give you my thoughts about what this is. But I think there's a little bit more to discuss than just what was posted. But I think this is a great example of synchronicity, which is a language of kind of spiritual communication in which things are happening and they're striking you. And it gives you a certain feeling or a certain emotion. And that is the reciprocation of that language being given to you. And that's your language back. And it's a really interesting concept, and I think it's a great way of finding evidence of a bigger thing going on than just what we're led to believe is our reality. Okay. All right, let's get to the post. I am freezing, by the way. So this synchronicity, or this post is called 15 Minutes of Pure Synchronicity. I think it's a great example of synchronicity. Okay. I had a pretty fun experience an hour ago. A friend of mine is sick, so I asked him if I should bring him some fever meds. He agreed and asked for a bottle of iced tea, since I'm already dropping by. He lives a 10-minute walk away from me, so no biggie. What a nice friend. Before I leave, I pack a lighter to smoke a cigarette on my way there. Before I leave, I pack a lighter to smoke a cigarette. I only take a single cigarette with me since it's a short walk. I already have a lighter in my jacket, but still took a second one without thinking about it. Something that never really happens. Or at least it doesn't really come to your attention that it happens, right? On my way, I light my cigarette when a guy approaches me asking for a lighter. Another thing that never happens, someone coming up to you and being like, hey, you got a lighter? Which, since I had two, I gave him one to keep. He was really happy and insisted on giving me a cigarette as compensation, which I accept after some hesitation. Next stop, so not only is someone saying, hey, do you have a lighter? This person just happens to have a second lighter, but also wants to give compensation as a thank you by giving a cigarette, something they both share and they both have value in. Next stop, the bakery, which opens on Sundays and sells iced tea. I go in, get my bottle, and on my way out, the cashier asks me if I smoked by any chance. A third thing that never happens. I said yes, and she asked if I had a cigarette that I could give to her. I had to laugh at that point since I wouldn't have had one if I didn't just swap my lighter. All of these things happened in about 15 minutes. None of that would have happened if I didn't get the urge to take a second lighter with me, an action that I thought was useless at the time. I know, not that impressive, but still it made me laugh. Synchronicities happen all the time, but usually I experience them in a way more subtle form. This person has a great gauge of what a synchronicity event is. It's multiple coincidences. And the further the coincidences go, the more you're getting a feeling that there's something bigger and higher happening here. It is not a grandiose experience that we all want in order to have sort of that life-changing, hit you in the face kind of experience, to have sort of some legitimacy, some sort of evidence as to, the stuff. But this is a great example of how synchronicity takes place. This urge that this person felt to bring a second lighter when they only needed one. I think that within itself is a part of your soul abilities calling to you. Hey, there's an opportunity ahead. Grab that second lighter. Now, when the person gets the idea in their head of there's a second lighter there, I should get that. Like, it's not a complicated process, but it is perhaps a form of just knowing, which is claircognizance. But it could also be sort of a psychic intel of this could lead to more things, more opportunities if I bring the second lighter with me. Did the person need the second lighter? No, he only needed one lighter, but brought two. And because of bringing two lighters, was able, first of all, they could have just brought one lighter and lit the guy's cigarette and walked away. Now, would the guy have been like, thank you so much for your kindness, here's a cigarette? Possible. But for this synchronicity to keep going, and that a person asked later on, do you have a cigarette that I could have? This person would not have had a second cigarette, just by chance had a second cigarette that was just given to them during the walk over. So, great example of synchronicity, great awareness of this person to be able to have that reference of, first of all, what a synchronicity is. And this sounds like a legit synchronicity. You want to be logical and hash out all the possibilities and probabilities and blah, 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 blah. And then eventually be like, oh, well, it all chalks up to just the probabilities were high that all that was going to go down. No. That's you being too logical and talking yourself out of an event that shows you there's something higher going on here. Now, the one thing I do want to point out, because I saw this yesterday and I've been thinking about it, is the energy that this person possesses is one that people feel open to ask things of them. And you've had the experience of walking down the street and seeing someone that you would feel like, whew, I do not want to approach that person. Or the opposite. Wow, this person has something about them that's kind of magnetic to me. It's just a knowing. It's just you're getting a sense of who they are just walking down the street. So that could be an exercise that you could try without having to approach people, but just get a feel for their energy. Some people would call that maybe stereotyping, but it's deeper than stereotyping. It's getting a sense of personality. It's getting a sense of their own energy. Quite simply, do I feel attracted to this person? Would I approach this person? Would I want to get to know this person? Or would I feel compelled to not do that? And this person, recognizing their synchronicity, is someone that attracts other people. Why? Well, Jesus, look at how this all started. Reached out to his friend, her friend, their friend, and the friend is sick, going out of their way to go outside, go for a walk, go get him a bottle of iced tea and drop it off. Like, that within itself shows a person that is open and caring. And I think that natural energy of this person is able to exude. There's a lot of things in here where this person's like, this would never happen, and that would never happen, and this never happens. But I think this person is either getting into that point of feeling a true sense, a true alignment with a higher self, a higher being, where all the cluttered BS is getting out of the way so that they can be who they really are and be in alignment with that. I like to think of it as, all these boundaries you put up to live your social life, live that social strata, the egoic self. It really makes your energy deflected and not have this huge energy beam that is dedicated to living your truth. And so it's fractured, it goes off, and it's a smaller kind of beam of light that we actually walk and talk and live. And with that comes a person that feels like that things aren't in the right place, that I'm not being the right person that I really think I am. And it's just a sense of not feeling secure with yourself. But you will find in time that the more you start putting your energy towards your truth, of being the kind of person that stops and says, my friend is sick, I care about my friend, let me go help them. Just a bottle of iced tea, 10 minutes away. You could have not done that, but you were doing something to help someone else. That is living in your truth. That's living in line with the energy that we should be aligning ourselves with, is energy to help others. It's really simple. It's how you expend that energy that's unique to you. And so this person, I'm feeling like with this story they're giving me, is really someone who lives quite a bit in line with that truth. So their beam of energy is stronger and magnetic because their true intention, and simple as it is really what people feel and people know. And so this person that stopped this person on the street and said, hey, do you have an extra lighter? This person could pick up on our OP being the kind of person that is open to giving and not having a problem with that and actually very accepting of this kind of process. And with that, you give that natural energy of this is who I am and this is what I accept. You can come to me. It's that language of energy that we don't give enough credit to. And it's so simple and dumb, but there's a lot of truth in that. And then there's that person who asked, hey, do you have a cigarette? And just happened to have a cigarette. So we have these random events happening and different ways that this person was able to give. So what is the meaning of these synchronicities for this person? People are asking things and you are supplying. You are giving back. The energy that you create, or sort of the reaction you have, that innate reaction to having that opportunity to give. That reaction is a language within itself, is an energy within itself that is something for this person to be very conscientious of. And I would say the meaning of this synchronicity and future synchronicities that this person will experience the next 3 weeks, we'll say, might have that theme of what can you give and what do you get out of it. So this person doesn't seem to be the kind of person that is hung up on sort of, I wouldn't say fairness, but isn't hung up on giving energy. And I'm curious if this person has a problem with giving time, giving energy, or if this person is quite the opposite and is the kind of person that just naturally does that. And there's something to the synchronicity that is feels thematic to me. And it could even be another side of it, which is how much are you willing to give and not get back in return? Now, I feel like there's balance in this synchronicity, which is great. This is a great sign, right? This is calling the attention to how is your energy being received and how is energy coming back to you? And it does feel like there's a balance. So I feel like this is maybe source or spirit or the universe calling attention to, hey, things are even right now. You're doing good. We can get those kinds of synchronicities. In fact, that's why I think we get synchronicities. A is to warn us, or B, to let us know we're right where we need to be. In fact, I go more towards that second one, if anything. All right, so that's really a great example of a synchronicity, but also a little bit more to that synchronicity than maybe we thought. And finding meaning in synchronicities really is its own kind of detective work, and sometimes takes a more, wider perspective, objective perspective, and really looking at theme. At least that's from my experience of analyzing synchronicities. Okay, we are at 17 minutes. I got to wrap it up. Check out my website, nextgenmedium.com. Check out my other Reddit Answers vlog videos that could help you in a variety of ways, different topics I talk about. All of it coming up from what people are talking about on Reddit, nextgenmedium.com. Please donate at Patreon, Patreon/nextgenmedium. And $3 gets you access to my whole Next Gen Medium 63 episode podcast. So we can talk about different topics, and you can find things that relate to you and open up your world to this being yours. Psychic, medium, intuitive, healing. All that stuff is your birthright. Get started. All right. Happy Monday.